Fable is the game that Xbox needs right now. As an Xbox fan, especially a Halo fan, I've watched for years as they mismanage their franchises. But after this latest direct with Fable, I'm feeling a little hopeful that maybe Xbox has learned something with at least one of their franchises. You're telling me that we're finally getting a game that builds on the previous games while still respecting them? You're telling me that Xbox knows how to give us what we want? That's incredible! That's insane! Who would have thought that that would be a winning strategy? So Xbox recently had their Spring Developer Direct, and we got some new looks at a few of their upcoming games. We got a look at the new Forza Horizon game, the new Game Freak game, the mystery game Double Fine has been working on. But I came to that Direct for one game, and one game only. Fable. It's been a long time since we've seen anything substantial on this game. The first time we saw it was in 2020 with a reveal trailer to just say that they were working on it. 2023 and 24 were some in-game cinematics that we got to see, and it was set to release last year in 2025, but then it got delayed. So needless to say, people were a little bit concerned coming into the showcase with how long this has been going on. But we got gameplay in this one, and it actually looks pretty good. Maybe even really good. There are a lot of returning components to this game from the old ones, and there are a few changes being made. Most importantly, in my opinion, is they're bringing back a lot of the social aspects that were in the old games, and I could not be happier. I was really worried that they wouldn't bring them over and it would just be a regular old fantasy RPG. Those social minigames are what made Fable Fable to me. Working random jobs for the extra cash, having a bunch of wives and making them live in different parts of town so they didn't realize what I was doing. Oh, and of course, buying up all the property in Albion. Not only are they bringing it back, but they're expanding on these ideas in some ways. The new Fable will have what they call a living population. It seems like it's an evolution of what the previous games did with their people. Characters have their own traits and schedules like in the old games, but now it seems like the NPCs will reference things you do to them or how you relate to them. In the showcase, they showed that people you evict will have an opinion on the eviction, and they tell you about it. And people who work for you might have an opinion on how you run that business. Those reactions from the population are a core part of what drives this new game and make it Playground's Fable. Instead of going with a pure black or white morality system, in this game they wanted something more gray, something driven by these localized reactions. One thing they detail in the showcase is how people could react negatively to you buying up property in their area, something every Fable player probably did in 2 and especially 3. They also show reputation points being added for things like being a chicken chaser when you kick a chicken. So it seems like even small actions will create these reactions in the public. And your reputation resets from town to town, so different towns could have entirely different opinions on you based on what you do in that area. I was slightly worried when I first saw this. The system is definitely more realistic, but less fairy tale to me. And that strict morality is something I relate to Fable. It's what the older games were built on. I can see it being a case of there are technically strict morality decisions that you can make, it's just not the game telling you that they are one way or the other. No light beaming or fire casting out of the button that makes whatever decision you're trying to make. Like they say in the Direct, Fable the game will never judge you, but Albion will. Previous games have had NPCs with all kinds of traits, including evil and virtuous. It kind of makes sense that if you develop that idea a little further, you would come to a system where evil people enjoy heroes that do bad things, and virtuous NPCs enjoy the opposite. And they voice it to you, retelling your stories in a different way depending on the perspective. I can see that being a really immersive system. Oh, and it's also really cool that your decisions will be leaving a mark on the world. That was really cool seeing the giant's body just lay out over his house where you potentially kill him. Gameplay looks fun. Combat looks pretty smooth and diverse, looks like maybe some more weapon variation than previous games with them showing off the dual wielding. We saw a couple spells, some good interactions with the enemies, like with the armored Hollow Man, having to hit his legs to do any damage to him. You have the fun Fable enemies returning, like Hollow Men, Hobbs, Balverines, and they've added some new enemies as well that fit in with Fable. The story they've shown off so far is really interesting to me as well. You've got the typical Fable start, of course, of beginning the game as a child and something horrible going wrong that puts you on this hero's journey. Something new they seem to be doing in this game is having the main antagonist be a hero, which I like a lot. They kind of teased the idea of good and evil heroes in the first game with the rivalry between you and Whisper, but nothing that rose to the stakes that it looks like this game is going for. I do have some concerns though. It's not all peaches and cream. I'm still not sold on the art style. In typical Playground fashion, the world looks beautiful. The environments, the people, but Fable isn't necessarily pretty, especially when it comes to the people. It's goofy and cartoonish. I think I'd feel a little more comfortable with the new realistic direction if there were still goofy aspects to some of the characters. Odd body proportions, funny hairstyles, that kind of thing. And maybe there is. We saw some goofy outfits the player can wear, and the guy they evicted's hair looked a little goofy. We definitely know there are goofy personalities in typical Fable fashion, so that's good. I'm also slightly concerned about the frame rate. There are parts of the Direct where the game starts to chug a little bit, and we have too many games that come out now with technical issues. We're still at least 6 months out from the probable release, and Playground seems to do really well with their Forza games performance-wise, so I'm hoping that they can get it ironed out. This is an entirely new kind of game for them though, so maybe it could go either way. But after constant layoffs, a lot of cancellations, and fumbling just about every franchise they have, Xbox needs a win really bad. And I hope Fable can be that win. But that'll bring us to the end of the video, and I'd love to hear your thoughts on the Direct, especially coming from any newcomers to the series. This will be the first Fable game to launch on a PlayStation. Overall, I'm not super concerned about the things that I'm concerned for though, and what they are doing has me really excited. But it just feels really good to finally have an Xbox game that I can have some amount of confidence in. Ultimately, we won't know for sure how well it all fits together until it comes out. So, here's to hoping for no other delays.